What happened, Isabella? My daughter recently started working at her dream company, but she hasn't seemed herself lately. Whenever I ask, she just says, "It's nothing." But today, for some reason, she came back home only 30 minutes after leaving. And on her back was an outrageous note. The moment I saw it, I decided to go to her company. I'm usually calm and mild-mannered, but this time I couldn't ignore it. And so I found myself facing off against the very person who had caused Isabella so much pain, Samuel. My name is Thomas. I just turned 44, and Isabella celebrated my birthday with me. I married my wife 30 years ago, and we had Isabella the following year. Sadly, my wife passed away right after giving birth. At the time, I was only 22, just starting my career, and couldn't raise a child alone. So I raised Isabella with help from both my parents and in-laws, balancing work and parenting. Things got easier as she grew up, but not having a mother brought its own struggles. Even so, Isabella started her adult life this spring. She's only 22, but compared to others her age, she seems incredibly mature. She must have worked extra hard to make up for her mother's absence. I'm proud of her, but part of me wishes she could have just enjoyed being a kid. But I don't know what I can do for her now. So, I've just been going with the flow. Still, living with Isabella brings me happiness. Sharing meals with her is my greatest joy. There's just one thing I can't stop thinking about. Since she started working, she's often looked sad. Did something happen? No, I'm okay. Just tired. I see, then get some rest. Even when I ask, her answers are vague. I didn't know what else to do, so I let her rest. I hoped she'd feel better with time, but her expression just kept getting darker. She used to play tennis on her days off, but now she just stays in. She gets up in the afternoon, eats lunch, and heads straight back to her room. Anyone could see something was wrong, but if she didn't want to talk, I couldn't force her. So, I kept living as usual, carrying a heavy heart. Then one day, Isabella suddenly said she wanted to change jobs. I think I want to change jobs. I don't think this one's right for me. Is that what's been bothering you lately? Yeah, it's not the company I thought it would be. So, I've been thinking about quitting. She hadn't even been there a year, so she must have been under a lot of stress. But quitting right out of college could affect her future career. Even if you quit now, are you sure someone else would hire you? You understand that, right? Yeah, I do. But still, Isabella heard my words and was at a loss for what to say. I think you should do whatever you believe is best. It's your life. Just be sure you won't regret it. You're right. I'll think about it some more. Thanks, Dad. Later, I kept wondering if I said the right thing. But no matter how much I thought about it, there was no clear answer. It was up to Isabella now. 2 weeks later, Isabella still looked down as she left for work. I was getting ready to leave myself when she came home just 30 minutes after leaving. Something had definitely happened. I asked, "What happened?" She replied, like always, "It's nothing." The words she gave in return were the same as always, but today Isabella seemed different. Even when I asked her what was wrong, she said nothing, keeping her lips tightly pressed together, refusing to speak. I decided to take the day off. Are you feeling sick? Then go rest in your room. Yeah, I'm sorry, Dad. At first, I didn't understand what she meant, but when I saw her heading to her room, I couldn't believe my eyes. There was a piece of paper about the size of printer paper taped to her back. I quickly pulled it off and read it. The message was so cruel, I couldn't believe it. You are not needed in this company. Just get out already. What's this? It was so shocking I read it out loud. Give that back. Isabella, what's going on? Who did this? Well, it was my boss. When I asked more, I learned she'd been harassed for some time. The culprit was her direct supervisor, Samuel, who is 40 years old. He's the department manager. Right after she joined, he forced extra work on her and didn't let her do the same tasks as others. When she protested, the harassment escalated. They didn't call me to meetings, and I wasn't given important documents. Why would they do that? And why didn't you tell me sooner? I didn't want to worry you. I'm sorry. That was the first time Isabella cried in front of me. She'd never shown tears since she was little, but I knew she must have wanted to cry all along. I held her tightly as she cried. I'm sorry, I didn't notice. I'll take care of it now. You just rest. What do you mean? What are you going to do? I'm going to your company. Normally, I don't get angry or show frustration, but this time I was furious. Seeing my precious daughter hurt for such an unreasonable reason, I couldn't help but feel a deep sense of frustration toward that man Samuel. But what are you going to do there? Don't worry. Just leave it to me. With Isabella looking on in concern, I headed to her company. At reception, I asked to speak with Samuel, but of course, I was denied. My daughter works here. She suddenly said she's taking leave, and I must speak to her supervisor. I see. Normally, that's not allowed. But please wait a moment. Maybe because I pleaded sincerely, the receptionist went to call Samuel from the office. Sometime later, a small man wearing glasses showed up. What do you want? I'm busy, so make it quick. Samuel looked at me with a sluggish expression, his hands shoved in his pockets. I'm Isabella's father. I'd like to ask you a few things about what's been going on. Seriously? She sent her father? What kind of nerve does that take? That's unbelievable. As soon as I introduced myself as Isabella's father, Samuel burst out laughing. There was a really cruel note stuck to Isabella's back. Was that your doing? Yeah, that was me. I can't stand her. I wish she'd just quit already. Did she do something to deserve that kind of treatment? From what I've heard from Isabella, there's no reason she would be targeted like that. But then Samuel said something outrageous. She's taller than me. Okay. And she gets attention like she's some kind of model. It ticks me off. That's it? That's your reason? That's it. That's enough. It hits a nerve, and I hate it. I was stunned. He'd been harassing her just because she was taller and got attention from others. It's true Isabella is about 5'7" and has a good figure. But that's no excuse for harassment. And if that were the reason, others would fit too. Why only target Isabella? Because she looked weak. Watching her crumble was hilarious. Hearing that, I couldn't help but mutter, I see. Then I have an idea too. You'd better be ready. What did you say? You and your daughter talked too quietly. Say it louder. I said, be ready. You have no idea who you just picked a fight with. Samuel tilted his head in confusion. What's this? Trying to scare me now? Scare you? You bluffing? You mean you're the threat, or your daughter? As Samuel taunted me with a smug expression, I glanced at him sideways and pulled out my phone. What? Calling for help? Don't say I didn't warn you when you regret it later. Regret? You think I'd ever feel that? You know who I am? After hearing those words from Samuel, I made a call to someone. The moment they answered, I switched to speaker mode. Hello. How have you been? This is Thomas. Thomas, what a surprise. What can I do for you? I'm actually at your company right now. Something's come up. When Samuel realized I was talking to Mr. Kensington, the company president, his eyes widened. He hadn't expected me to be connected to someone like him. A problem? What happened? Did one of our employees? Yes, I'd like to talk about someone named Samuel from my daughter's department. Samuel. I see. I'll head over immediately. Please wait just a moment. With that, Mr. Kensington hung up. Was that just now? You know him well, right? That was Mr. Kensington, the president of this company. We go way back. How? You're not supposed to have any connection to him. Still in disbelief, Samuel stared at me. Soon after, Mr. Kensington came running in, drenched in sweat. Sorry to keep you waiting. Did Samuel do something? You might want to hear it directly from him. Yes, of course. Samuel, would you mind explaining what happened? Mr. Kensington asked, but Samuel refused to speak. Instead, he tried to make me look like the villain. I didn't do anything. I don't even know who this guy is. He just barged in and accused me. Accused you of what? He said I harassed his daughter out of nowhere. Hearing that, Mr. Kensington glanced at me. Is that true? Everything except the part about my barging in is true. I see. I can't say for sure myself. May I speak with Isabella? It was clear Mr. Kensington wasn't sure who to believe yet, and that made sense. He needed to hear from both sides to judge fairly, but Isabella likely didn't have the strength to show up right now. Isabella's mentally and physically exhausted. I don't think she can take part in a meeting. Oh, come on. She's just running away, isn't she? Admit it's all a lie. Hey, watch your tone. Feeling safe now that Isabella wouldn't come, Samuel acted cocky even in front of Mr. Kensington. It's fine. Let him say whatever he wants. Okay then. You've been acting all high and mighty. Who do you think you are? Some big shot? Samuel still didn't know who I really was and kept running his mouth. I wondered if he realized he couldn't back out anymore. Mr. Kensington looked worried that things might escalate. You're around 40, right? So what? Don't tell me I have to show respect just because you're older. No, not that. I just find it sad that someone that age still acts so foolish. At my words, Samuel furrowed his brow. It seemed what I had just said had struck a deep chord with him. Keep running your mouth and see what happens. Now he was visibly angry. I think you're the one who should be worried about what's coming next. What are you talking about? You probably don't know this, but I'm a major shareholder here. Time seemed to stop around Samuel. The major shareholder? Yes, I own a large portion of this company's stock and attend shareholder meetings. That can't be. I've worked the front desk at those meetings, but I've never seen your face. Apparently, Samuel had once handled reception for a shareholder meeting, but it's no surprise he wouldn't remember faces. I hadn't remembered his either. It's not strange that you don't remember, but the fact remains that I'm a major shareholder. No way. That can't be true. It's true. This man is one of our biggest investors and has done a lot for this company. Mr. Kensington's words sealed it. Samuel had no choice but to accept the truth. So what if you're a major shareholder? That has nothing to do with your daughter. I didn't do anything wrong. If you're so confident, then I'd like to request a review of the security footage and ask other employees for statements. Why should I have to go through that? Despite claiming innocence, as soon as I mentioned an investigation, sweat started pouring from Samuel's forehead. You don't want to stay under suspicion, right? Then prove your innocence. I don't think Thomas would lie, but we'll need to confirm the facts for the sake of fairness. Wait, it was me. I think I may have harassed her. At last, Samuel finally admitted to what he had done. However, I just couldn't accept such a vague and unclear explanation. What exactly do you mean by, I think? I didn't think it was harassment. I assumed it was just a misunderstanding. Oh, and you think putting something like this on someone's back can be dismissed as a mere misunderstanding? As I said that, I pulled out the paper that had been stuck on Isabella's back. What is this? This is terrible. Did you really do this? No, you've got it all wrong. Very well. A proper investigation will reveal the truth. Thomas, we'll look into this thoroughly and get back to you right away. Understood. I hope you'll handle this matter with sincerity. And with that, I left Isabella's workplace. Just before walking away, I glanced back briefly, and I'll never forget the devastated look on Samuel's face at that moment. Sometime later, I received a direct call from Mr. Kensington about Samuel. It turned out, just as you said. We decided to assign him to a different department, away from Isabella. I sincerely apologize. I'm glad to hear that. By the way, which department was Samuel transferred to? Apparently, Samuel had been removed from the career track and pushed into a dead-end department. He insisted he wouldn't quit no matter what, But most people in that department end up leaving within 6 months because they can't find any sense of fulfillment. After taking a short break, Isabella eventually returned to work. It's been about a month since then, and I feel like she smiles more often now. But for Samuel, this was only the beginning of his descent into misery. In the new department, Samuel was forced to repeat the same monotonous tasks every day, and it gradually took a toll on both his mind and body. He couldn't accept being removed from the promotion track and repeatedly protested to Mr. Kensington, only to be shut down each time until eventually he gave up trying altogether. Then Samuel declared that he was quitting the company. "I'm done with this place. It makes no sense for someone as capable as me to be treated like this." Shouting that, he submitted his resignation letter. After quitting, he visited many companies in search of a new job, but no one would hire him. At home, when his family asked why he had left his job, and he told them the truth, his wife took the children and left him. In the end, Samuel couldn't find a new job and has been barely scraping by on his savings, living alone in solitude, or so I heard through the grapevine. But I can say with certainty that Samuel's downfall isn't just a rumor because recently I saw him myself. He looked like a completely different person. That day, I had gone to a casual pub with Isabella. "Tonight's on me. Order whatever you like." "Are you sure? Wasn't this your first bonus?" "Exactly. I wanted to celebrate it with you, Dad." It was just a simple pub, nothing fancy, but to me, it meant more than any high-end restaurant. Isabella was smiling as she looked through the menu, her eyes darting around, trying to decide what to order. But then, the moment she looked up, her expression froze. "What's wrong? That guy over there, isn't that Samuel?" Hearing her words, I quickly turned around, and sure enough, there he was. Samuel, arguing with a staff member near the register. "I didn't order this much. You're ripping me off. Call the police." He was shouting angrily, clearly upset about the bill. "Very well. Are you sure you want to go through with this?" "Of course. I'm struggling enough as it is, and you're trying to rob me blind." The staff member then pulled out a phone and began calling the police. Before long, a patrol car arrived, and the officers began questioning both of them. "You have security cameras here, correct? We'll need to review the footage." "Wait, cameras? What cameras?" "We have them in all four corners, and two more in the center of the room." Samuel, who had looked so confident moments ago, suddenly went pale upon hearing that. "No one told me that." "Well then, let's continue this conversation at the station." "Wait, please." Samuel tried to make excuses, but no one listened. He was taken away in the patrol car. "He hasn't changed at all, has he?" "No. Let's not let someone like him ruin our night." After that, Isabella and I talked about many things. "Is there anything you want to do next, Isabella?" I guess maybe I'd like to try falling in love." "Love, huh?" She's already an adult, after all. Some people even get married in their early 20s. The fact that she hasn't had any romantic experiences until now doesn't mean much. It wouldn't be surprising at all if she found someone. I didn't want to make you feel lonely, so I never really brought it up. "I get it. I thought I was ready for this, but when the time actually comes, I don't know how to handle it." "You're about to cry, aren't you?" "Stop it. I don't even have anyone yet." I couldn't help it. I cried in front of Isabella for the first time in a long time. Thinking about the person she might bring home someday, I finished the last of my beer. "Someone wonderful is going to come into your life, Isabella." "Of course. After all, I was raised by you, Dad." Her words made my tears flow even faster.